Okay, so now I'm going to run my program. So remember, I'm going to go over here and go to application. And then I'm going to click the tester, hit apply. Let's see if everything compiles. I very well could have made a mistake. Okay. Oh, I want to say int here. Thank you, because I tried to add it to the array. Oh, wow, this morning. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. So, I just wanted to hit print, not print line. So I can see if my data is sorted. Oh, it's not. The last one didn't sort. Everything else did, which is great, but the last one didn't. So I got to go back here and figure out. Oh, no, the first one didn't sort. Does it sort at all? I don't think so. No. So let's see what I did. It should change my data. Let's change this lesson. See if that changes anything. Sometimes I make a small mistake and then I can fix it with a small fix. No. Okay. So well, I know that my data is correct. Like it took my array. So I'm going to say, let's see. If data at I is less than temp, well, it should be less than temp anyway. If data at I is less than temp, then temp becomes data at I minus 1. Data at I minus 1 becomes data at I. Data at I becomes temp. It looks like I'm holding, let's see. My temp is reset to, maybe this should be data at I. Data at I becomes data at I minus 1. Data at I minus 1 becomes temp. Let's see if that helps at all. No, it does not. So let me see. If that one is less than the first one, then the first one becomes that one. And then this one becomes the one before it. And the one before it becomes temp. Why is this not? Let's do this. Let's print temp. Well, I'm going to put a space in here so that it's only running through one time because it just printed out once temp, which is, and actually, so let's see. This is very strange that it's only printing out one time. I'm going to pause this and play around with it for a bit, and then I'm going to come back. And you guys can probably already see my mistake. But when I'm right in the middle of it, sometimes I have difficulty. Well, I is less than data because it should be going through the entire length. So I'm going to pause it and I'll come back. Sometimes I need a minute to kind of look over what I did. All right, I figured out what happened. So because right here, I want this line of data outside here. Because temp, what's happening is temp is only getting set to I if the statement is true, and the statement's not always true. So let's see if that fixed the problem, because I have to set it to work every single time. Well, that did something, but not quite everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this go in here, copy. Oh, temp has to be, let's set temp to, all right, I do want to switch temp here. But what's happening is temp isn't changing every single time. So I do want it to change. So I'm going to say temp becomes, I'll say data at I minus 1. Right here. So let's see how this goes. There we go. So what I wanted to do was set this to here, and then if this was less than this, then I have to swap the two. So I had to change that up to there. Now you can, so what's happening is temp is getting set here, then it's comparing these two and it's saying, oh, this one's bigger. So I'm going to set temp now to be this. Then I'm going to swap these two. And then the next time we start here. And so temp gets started here. And then we compare these two and it was fine. So we left it. And then actually it should last all the way to the end. But it changes because the 7 changes to here. So then it's comparing these two. And then this one's less. So it swaps it again. If you'd like a longer explanation of the code, I can give you that a different day. But for the time being, we made a sort. I can see that it sorts correctly, so I can take this 4 out. That was just to help me. So now, with my data, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the sort method. I can call the sort method right here. I don't need to call it, but just to be careful because median needs the sort, I'm going to call it here anyway. Just to be sure in case somebody doesn't call it over here that it gets sorted. You don't need it for mean, you don't need it for standard deviation, but you do need it for median. So you call the sort, and then here's the rest of the code to get you to what happens with the odd even number of elements and the even number of elements. So I've already discussed this, so I'm not going to go through that anymore, and you can fill in the code here. So we have double standard deviation, and with the standard deviation, you can see that we need, here's the standard deviation. First thing we need is the mean. Then you take the sum of the difference of squares, and then you divide that by 1 less than the length, and then you take the square root of that. So I think the easiest way to do this is to go like this. We're going to say, have a couple double. First of all, we want to call mean. Maybe we'll call it. Remember, when you do the mean, you don't want to do integer division. Okay, and then I'm just going to say this dot mean in case it doesn't like that I have mean and mean. I think it should be fine because one's a method and one's a variable, but I can do it in case. Okay, and now I'm going to have double sum of differences. Okay, starting out at 0. So I am going to have a for loop that adds up the sum of the differences. I think it's actually the sum of the square of the differences. It is sum of the square of the differences. Don't forget to use math.pow. Okay, then after that, so I have the sum of this, so I take this, the value minus the mean squared, value minus the mean squared, all the way through, okay? Then I'm going to divide the sum of the square of the differences by 1 less than the length. And then after that, I'm going to take the square root. So I'm not going to do the entire code for you, but I am going to kind of just guide you through what you're going to do. Now in the tester class, you will make sure to save double mean becomes stats.mean, double SD becomes stats.SD. Oh, whoops, standard deviation. And then, what did I call it back here? Standard, oh, I spelled it wrong. So let's spell it right here. And then it's okay here. And then double median becomes stats.median. And then I'm going to print out my data. So I should have a for loop to print array. And then I'm going to print out my data. I'm going to say, make sure you label it, please. That way it's nice and clean in the window. So for example, system.out.println, yes. Mean tab that out. And we'll say plus mean. And so on. So that's it. Hopefully this helps if you were a little bit stuck. Let me know if you have any questions.